Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Phoenix Draconis, and this is Kaon Reviews. Now, as you saw in the intro, today's review video is going to focus on Transformers Studio Series 86, number 19, Dinobot Snarl, as he appears in Transformers the movie. And I have to say, I've seen product shots through Hasbro Pulse and whatnot, and I'm liking it. He really kind of looks like, how he appears, not just in the movie, but also toy-wise. Well, you know what? Before I get too far ahead, let me go ahead and continue with this intro. So as you see on the front of the box here, you see a really good action shot of him, throwing bolts at Decepticons with his tail. Very, very nice action shot. On the front, you do see a really good shot of his face. Kind of looks like he's smiling. And on this side, you do see a much more wider shot. Right there. Still looks like he's smiling. And finally, you do see the product shots. And you see him both in in both his dinosaur mode as well as his robot mode. And on the bottom left corner over here, you do see the stage in front of him, which is at the Battle of Autobot City. So here on the top corner, you do see big screen inspired scale, detail, and backdrop. And on the bottom over here, you do see where it says, Snarl and the Autobots must find a way to destroy Unicron before Cybertron is devoured. So here we go. We're taking another look at the amazing artwork on this box. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get him opened up. And here we have Snarl out of his box, set up, and ready to go ahead and cause some damage. Now, behind him is the stage during the Battle of Autobot City, or when they're trying to escape from Autobot City. Very nice. I like the animated look and everything. However, he is a bit too big for that stage. I mean, yeah, he fits pretty well. I guess it just depends on how you have him set up, really. I'll try and just angle this camera just a bit. And there you go. Very, very nice. I'm really liking that. So here here he is. And I mean, let's go ahead and take a look at that head sculpt. And wow. I mean, he is looking fucking awesome, man. I mean, wow. That head sculpt is like right out of the screen. And I have to say, it's very, like I said, it is awesome. So yeah. And then of course you can see a lot of good molded detail on his chest. Nice little stampographed Autobot symbol. Really good molded detail on his sword. I have to say, this is very, very good. On his forearms, his shoulders, which become, of course, you do see his feet, which transfer over to his dinosaur mode. On his abdomen, his lower waist, his knees, or I should say his thighs. You can see as the light hits it, some really good molded detail along his shin, which becomes his back, on the side. Really, really good. I mean, I'm very in awe of this. And he's got some good molded detail along his back. Something I want to say before I continue. This piece here, try and just snap that puppy off like so. This piece is actually packaged loose. And I would definitely advise anyone who gets this to actually look at the instructions, and I will show that to you right now. This section here, it shows that piece kind of off right here, shows you how to snap that on. And once it's snapped in, you just fold that piece in on itself, and you just do that, and there you go. That backpack is just nice and smooth. The tail just pretty much just does a miraculous job. Really good molded detail. So yes, anyone who gets this figure and you see this back piece loose, that's how it's packaged. So follow the instructions as I showed you just now. It shows you how to snap it now. Really, it's kind of, in my particular experience with putting this on there, it was a pain in the ass. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is a pain. But, you know, I'm like, you know what? You got stupid instructions on here. Look at them. So I did, and I was like, okay, I see where I was going wrong because I was putting it in the opposite end. So once I got that snapped in there, boom, put that on there. And it snaps in there pretty tight. You have to really put some force to put it back on there. Or I should say to take it off. But very, very nice. Again, I really like how this turned out. So, yes. Go ahead, just put him there. Oh, again. It is an awesome figure in robot mode. So, give me a moment to go ahead and change up the, remove that backdrop and remove his weapon, and we'll get him ready for transformation. Something I did forget to mention during the last segment, and that's his articulation. Now let's go ahead and take a look at his head sculpt. It is, I want to say, on a ball joint. So he's able to look up just a little bit, look down. As you saw, he has 360 rotation on his head. His arm is kind of on a ratchet joint that does not go all the way unless you move the arm on here. So it can go 360, it can lift up and down. He does have rotation at the elbow. His arm, there we go. His arm can go a little over 90 degrees. Now, as you saw, it can detach here for even more range of motion if you want, but that's mostly due to transformation. He does have a waist swivel, and he can go 360, but again, that's also due to transformation. He can, he can't really kick back all that much. He can kick out around 90 degrees. He has a 90-degree bend. He does have thigh rotation at the upper thigh. He has wrist rotation. And he does have the ankle bend or ankle tilt for those wide stance, wide stance poses that everyone seems to want to be able to do. But can he do the Kung Fu kick? Oh! Hey, what do you expect? I grew up during the 70s and 80s. And yes, he can. Wow! Alright, so enough fooling around. Let's go ahead and get him transformed! Alright, so one of the first things we're going to do with his transformation process is get him straightened up just a bit. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and take his arms out like so, have them pointed out. Alrighty, and we're going to just take this leg and bend it out like so. We're going to do the same on this one. Now, before filming, I was messing around with the transformation process, so I wouldn't be looking back at the instructions. This leg here, the left leg, well, that will soon become the left leg, was kind of tight on here. I may have loosened it up just enough. Now, once that is done, I'm going to make sure that the hands are straight, and we're going to go ahead and push these down. Now I'm going to do the same on this end. Oop. There we go. Try that again. Come on, baby. Work with me. There we go. Now once that's done, we're going to go ahead and fold this like so. Okay. Now, one thing that I want to show you. There is a small tab right here. There is a slot right there. So this whole forearm is going to connect to that shoulder joint, because that will become his thigh, and this is where this part, you know, comes into play. And you have to feel around for it, because sometimes it tends not to want to go on there. There we go. Once you hear it, because it's got a soft snap, so once you hear that, then you know for sure it is in there, and there it is, and it's pretty tight. So once that's done, you're just going to go ahead and pull the leg, turn that foot around, and there you go. Now we're just going to go ahead and just lift these legs up. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. There we go, and ta-da. All right, now next thing we are going to do is we're going to take this back piece off. It is held together by these two tabs here onto these two slots. Once that is done, you're going to lift this back piece all the way up like so. You're going to take this that will comprise his tail and snap that in. Once that is there, all you're going to do is make sure that head is straight forward and push that back like so. Now, like I just did right now, this chest piece goes out so far, and there'll be a reason for why I did that. It'll become apparent momentarily. So, this waist, you're going to pull that out, and you'll see this portion. At that point, you're just going to twist this around, 180, and there we go. All right. Alright, so once that portion is done, we are going to go ahead and take these portions here. They're going to open up, and there we go. Now we're going to take this inner leg and pull this out. Do the same right here, and this portion here is on its own separate hinge here, and you're just going to snap that in there. It's a soft snap, so you're not going to hear anything, but you'll pretty much know it's on there. Then at that point, you're going to take the foot out, and after that, you're going to leave it alone for now. All right. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn this leg over, at which point there is this portion here. You're going to lift that up just a bit. There is a reason why. As you saw just now, part of the head will come in. Now, the instructions will state that this whole section, both legs, are supposed to be put back together. I had a little bit of problems doing that, so I just left it alone. I'm going to do each one. Once each of these items are put together, then I'll go ahead and snap them in. But that's just me. Now, one thing that I did not do, which I should have done originally, is make sure both legs are flush together. And we are going to go ahead, lift this portion up. This is where the toes go in. And boom. And we're going to make sure all this is trying to go flush. And this top portion as well, right there. Push that in, and there we go. Now, these bottom portions will snap in together. There we go. Push that in, push that in. Ugh, come on, baby. There we go. Push that in. And there we go. Now, at this point, we're going to turn the legs around like so. And we're going to take this back piece. We're going to flip it down like so and snap that in. There's these two pegs here. It's going to slot in between that space right here. All right. Now we're going to turn the legs down. And turn this down. Try and get that to flush in. And we're going to just make sure these legs are bent like so. All right. And there we go. And there is Snarl in his Stegosaurus mode. All right. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are wondering, where's his sword supposed to go? Well, as you see, there's a peg here, and it can go here on the side. Personally, I really don't like that. So I'll just make it like an energon weapon where if it's not in use, it's stored in a pocket dimension. So there we go, right there. And oh my god, it's so cute. Now, I did have a, I don't know if it's a G1 or G2 Snarl. And for the life of me, I cannot find them. And I got so much stuff to the point where I'm actually doing my occasional purge where I've got stuff on Macari available on there, and I'll leave a link in the bottom of the description. So for anyone that's interested in some of the stuff I'm selling, I will put that. This is part of my Studio Series Dinobot set, so this is not going to be sold, as far as I know, anytime soon. So I wouldn't hold my breath on it though. But oh my god, I mean, let's take a look at the details on this. Excuse me, I had to take a swig. Now, I know some people are kind of like, I don't know if anyone has made a mention of this actually, that the head is way too small for the body. It should be matching up here. Honestly, I like that though. But look at that detail. Good God. Granted, there's a lot of good paint applications. There is a monotony of reds and gray pieces that just predominate, but you do see a lot of the breakup with the really dark grays, some blues, reds, golds, and whatnot. Now, one thing that a lot of people, or at least I've heard a lot of people make a mention of, is that his tail, and I will show the illustration on this, but again, you have to take into account that that this is an illustration. It's going at a different angle. So here we have the illustration in the back. I'm going to angle this out. So you're able to see his tail. In the back, you have that photo image right here, or the digi image. You don't see the tail. But I did take a shot because a couple of people had made a mention that, oh no, it's the tail lops off. I did find an image of a G1 Snarl, and it pretty much matches up. I'll see if I can put a side by side on that. But yeah, this is how he looks on the side, right there. So, like I said, I'll see if I can do a side by side so you can see what I'm talking about here. But there he is in robot mode. I'm really liking this. Now, as a matter of fact, I want to do a comparison of all of them, but honestly, they're in a storage cubby, which it is difficult to get into right now. I'm doing a lot of summer cleaning in this case. I've got other stuff in here, so it's very difficult to move around, and to get stuff out of that cubby is a pain in my rear. So trust me on this when I say this is a big boy. But he does seem to scale well from what I've seen on other reviewers with his dino buddies. So there he is. Very, very nice. I cannot help but gush over it. So with all that being said, give me a moment to go ahead and get him back into robot mode, and at which point I'll give you my thoughts as well as my score. All right, thank you for waiting. I appreciate your patience. And here is Snarl charging into battle, and oh my god, wow. I have to say, I am very impressed with the way the engineering was. Though I have to agree with certain things about what others have said. I think, especially towards the back end, you really don't see the tail, depending on how it's angled or displayed on your display. But it's not a deal breaker in my particular book. I am happy that there is a G1 inspired Dinobot, or I should say Snarl, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Swoop. I mean, once Hasbro puts out the Studio Series 86 of Swoop, holy cow, that will complete my Dinobot, group right there. Because, I mean, I have seen different iterations of these characters, through different videos, and what some of my friends from my local group actually have and showed off. And don't get me wrong, they're badass, but the transformation is very, very intricate. And for anyone that's seen my videos and know how pissy I get when it comes down to really overly complex transformation, yeah, it will not last too long. Though, I mean, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say that I'm not going to like it later, because there was, for anyone that has seen my review videos from the very beginning, when it was originally called I Heart Toys, I had this one third-party transformer, and it was like a Goldbug inspired character that they used I think a mini for this one. And oh my god, I think I reviewed it while I was in the hospital at that time, and I just really got upset, because I I looked at the instructions. Instructions were shit, and transforming it was a pain in the ass. But it became one of my more favorite figures, so I was kind of sad to see him go. Sooner or later, I am going to try and look on Wish, which is where I got it from originally, and see if I can find another one. But speaking of Goldbug, I do know that Hasbro did put out a set. I have yet to look for it, and the thing about it is, I just really want the Goldbug. I don't want the rest of the set personally. So if anyone has a Goldbug, just a Goldbug from that set, let me know. And if it's at a good price, I'll buy it from you. Anyway, moving on. So, granted, I had a chance to transform it a couple of times. Transformation, after a couple of times transforming it, is not too bad. You will have to look at the instructions and just do it a couple of times slowly before you go ahead and start treating it like a Rubik's Cube. Just going at it really quick. But I mean, I in terms of the dinosaur mode, it's a badass looking dinosaur mode. It's that back end that pretty much has people like really griping about that. And I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I compared it with the G1 Snarl, and they pretty much look the same. So more than likely, I'll put a photo in this video of it during my editing, so you can see what I'm talking about. But I mean, I like it. So on a scale of 1 through 10, I'm gonna give this figure a 9. It's tight in certain places, which is a good thing. And I did have some issues in terms of putting on that back piece that I told you all about. So when you open up the box and you see that back piece, look at the instructions and it will show you how to snap that in there. Sometimes it doesn't take really quick, so you just gotta try and pop it in there a couple times. Once it's popped in there, that's it, you're good. Nothing more. Yeah, that's my score. That's my take on the figure. I want to hear from you. Were you able to find this figure? Now, I wound up picking him up. I had him on pre-order on Hasbro Pulse, so if it's still available, I will put a link in the description below. In essence of finding this figure, did you find him? And if so, did you like him? Did you hate him? Leave me a comment about it in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. Click onto the bell icon so you can be notified when I post up new videos. As always, I'd like to thank everyone who watches my videos, likes them, puts a comment. I really appreciate the support. This is Phoenix Draconis, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace.